This is Sports Radio KFH.
The KFH studios, powered by Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Ready to watch your favorite baseball stars play in the WBC? Get in on the action with BetMGM. Sign into your BetMGM account and enjoy a WBC odds boost token to snag even more winnings on your next bet. It's easy. Just log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app, add any WBC bet to your bet slip, and activate your odds boost token. If you win your bet with your token activated, you'll score extra winnings. 3 quick steps and you could be on your way to extra winnings if your next WBC bet hits. The world's greatest ball players are about to duke it out on a global stage. Don't miss out on the fun. Add some extra excitement to this year's tournament by signing into your BetMGM account and grabbing your WBC odds boost token today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's the season to come together over your holiday favorites at Starbucks. Warm up with a creamy caramel brulee latte. Get festive with an iced gingerbread chai. Or share a velvety peppermint mocha. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. There's a multi-vehicle wreck on 64 westbound in Norfolk near Little Creek. It's stop and go starting at Chesapeake Boulevard. And further west on 64, there's an accident approaching Admiral Taussig Boulevard. In Portsmouth, traffic is sluggish on 264 east from Effingham through the downtown tunnel. That's your Hampton Roads traffic report.
Weather. Sunny, breezy, and continued cold today. In fact, a high of 39 is 20 degrees below normal, and gusty winds will make it feel even worse. Becoming partly cloudy, 22 tonight. Partly cloudy, breezy, and milder on Tuesday. It's a high of 60. But how about sunshine and 78 on Wednesday? It'll be hot come Thursday. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
This is 97.5 and 1240 KFH, Wichita, K248CY Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Running back David Montgomery is ready to be the lead back again now that he's a member of the Houston Texans. During his introductory press conference on Friday, he said he's not going to explain what he can or can't do on the field. Instead, he's going to, quote, show it. Elsewhere, the Eagles have agreed to terms on a one-year deal with tight end Dallas Goedert, according to NFL Network insiders Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport. This comes after Goddard agreed to push back the void date on his contract before hitting free agency twice. Plus, the Giants have signed wide receiver Darnell Mooney to a one-year deal worth up to $10 million, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. And the Chargers have locked in their backup quarterback, signing Trey Lance to a one-year deal. This will be his second season backing up Justin Herbert in Los Angeles. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Now, from Wichita, listen to Sports Radio 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Jacob, I think you're muted.
We were for a second there. Welcome into Sports Daily here, everybody. Glad to be here with you on a Monday morning. Jackson Schneider, that's who you heard there, in for TJ. We've got March Madness here, baby. Let's go. Did you fill out your brackets yet? Had ours filled out. I had mine filled out, I don't know, about 15 minutes after it was released, probably. That's the tradition. And then I got to work my way back. We went on TV last night, so I'm kind of locked into my Elite Eight, but we'll have to work our way back if we want any first round, second round, Sweet 16 upsets, but we'll get there. Of course, KU is in. We'll go over their path as they head to San Diego. Wichita State did not make it. They lost in the American Conference Championship game. We've got that discussion. Paul Mills not able to make it today. They did not leave Birmingham until late last night. So the Shockers, who will now host an NIT game this week, we'll get to them a little bit later as well. We've got our buddy Joshua Brisco coming in to talk the Chiefs offseason so far in the next hour. We've got a lot to get to today. It is a Monday, World Baseball Classic. America advances to the final in a little controversy last night, and we got it all for you. It's all what's on tap. Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the seasonal release Lazy McCafferty, the beer packed with malty specialty grains that you love in an Irish red ale, but it's light enough to put on your kilt and have you singing from the tabletops all night long. Lazy McCafferty Irish Red Ale, now available at Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. Jackson, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It's kind of one of the harder Mondays of the year, I feel like, because I always get so excited on Selection Sunday. I'm looking at all the stats, all the brackets. Like I fill one out, and I'm a one bracket guy, but I'm a multiple draft guy. Like I'll go back through it and I'll make changes. And last night I was just kind of laying around late at night, still kind of going through things. And I look at the stats of over the last 10 years, this seed is 70% more likely to make it, so far. And before I know it, it's really late. So I'm a little bit dragging today, but in the best possible way, because we've got so much we can talk about.
Well, good thing you can get some Prairie Fire coffee there in the studio. Yeah. It is plentiful. We appreciate them always keeping us on our toes. If you think today's dragon, wait till you get to Friday after the first day of March Madness. That's when it gets really, really rough, really rough. But It's the best time of the year, right? And man, we were that close to getting Wichita State back in this thing, which makes it, doubly the best time of year. I was watching a video over the weekend. It was, how Facebook gives you memories. And it was a memory of the first time the NCAA tournament came through. What was that, 2016 or 17? And I had like a quiz contest, Kansas quiz contest from a guy from Michigan. And the question came up of, what teams in the NCAA tournament are from the state of Kansas. And that year we had Wichita State, KU, and K-State. And I'm just like, man, those were the days. Those were the days where you had three of them. Lately, it's been just one. Wichita State came up just short in the championship game. USF's really good. And we'll talk a lot about that game throughout the show. But man, we were that close to the Shockers getting in this thing. They hosted an NIT game. That'll be good too, but man, it was right there.
It sucks, like plain and simple, because I think we were all like, we could taste what this city would be like getting Wichita State back into the NCAA tournament, but I still feel really good about the Shockers and where they're at, because a year ago we didn't really have much momentum as a city to follow this program, and all of a sudden the momentum is not just moving in the right direction. It feels like it's like a full-on swing in momentum. And the NIT, while it's not the tournament everyone really wants to be a part of, is such a big opportunity for Wichita State. And the WBIT is too, because the women's side of things, they're going to host the semifinals and the championship and everything at Coke Arena. But these fans here in Wichita, I really hope, are ready to embrace Wichita State hosting in the NIT, and hopefully hosting a couple of games in the NIT, because postseason basketball is just special. And basketball in the Roundhouse is special when it's really good. And it's like we have an opportunity here to help the program continue moving forward into next year and showing potential new roster members that this is a place you want to be and your fans care, and showing the players that are here now why they need to stay and keep building.
I think we got that at the end of the year. I think we got all. This will be such a critical offseason. Wichita State getting to the championship game, finishing second in the league, recapturing some buzz, and all of those things, I would tell you that I think mostly mission accomplished this year. But if we have this same conversation next year and it's not the tournament, I would say the mission is not accomplished, if that makes any sense. Like, this was a great step to get where we need to be, and where we need to be is Wichita State making the tournament, essentially every year. But and they were that close, and they played it against a really good team in the championship game, and everything's fine. But eventually Wichita State ought to be able to get to the point where they don't have to win that conference tournament to get in, to get in. They pick up, 3 or 4 of the games they dropped throughout the season, including maybe, let's say, one against St. Mary's in which they were close. And you're probably in the tournament either way. That's where the program needs to be. This is a great step in that direction. And show up to the NIT. I think fans will, for the most part. It's a Tuesday night, right? Like, it's a Tuesday night when people are already trying to figure out how to weasel out of work Thursday and Friday. Like, I'm gonna reasonably set expectations for an opening round NIT game. I don't think I would expect like matching what we saw late in the conference season for Wichita State as they're trying to, secure buys and do all those things. But maybe it's a tournament that has a good history with Wichita State. It's a tournament that has led to good things for Wichita State. I think they're on the right track, but the pressure to me isn't on the Shockers in the NIT. The pressure to me now is, can you secure the NIL abilities to keep most of this team together and go replace a guy like Kenyon Giles? So the NIT is going to be fun. I'm really glad they're in it. I'm really glad they're hosting. They were that close, Jackson. They were that close. And we'll talk about that game quite a bit throughout the show today. KU on to San Diego. Boy, it doesn't get any bluer blood than the bracket KU's staring at. I'll tell you, I actually like their draw. There was a lot of chatter I could see online. People, and I was getting texts about it. Oh no, St. John's, that's brutal draw. That's brutal. And I'm like, God, I don't know that I agree. I kind of like their draw. I think that's the region that's the most up in the air, if I'm being 100% honest. I didn't want to see them get in the same region as Houston or Arizona or Iowa State for that matter. So I'm kind of glad.
Isn't it funny though how you can get such mixed reactions on the same thing? Because I saw multiple tweets in a row after the bracket was released of, this is great, this is awful, this is really favorable. Like, it's March, it's all crapshoot. It depends on what you think about different teams. Like, but I personally, I think there's a really good opportunity for Kansas.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we return. Let's look at it. Let's look at who else is in the region. We can all make fun of TJ. He very publicly made a pick last night that we'll let him defend in the second hour. He's headed up to talk to Casey Alexander today, but he's going to join us for a little bit. He's got to defend his bracket. We'll tell you why on that, too. Thanks for being here with us. We'll be right back.
This is Sports Radio KFH. Your journey.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
To get busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, here to Sports Daily. Glad to be here with you on a Tuesday. It's March Madness. This March the Madness is not just on the court either. It's taking over downtown Wichita. Join KFH for Hoops for Heroes at the 9th Floor Club and venue on March 20th. That is coming up here. It's coming up in a hurry. It's Friday. Midday Madness buffet lunches to evening madness in the Cloud9 Cigar Lounge. It's the ultimate tournament watch party. Enter the Ultimate Bracket Challenge. 100% of bracket proceeds benefit CanVets United. Supporting our local heroes. Get tickets and brackets and learn how you can be a member for a day at 9thfloorwichita.com down in downtown Wichita. It's a great, great venue. 97.5, 1240 KFH in partnership there. Jackson, brackets are out. I'm going back through and looking at mine, and I'm chalked to the Sweet 16 essentially. I've got to make some changes. I have the first round upsets, but I don't have any of those teams going far. I mean, in the Elite Eight is chalk. The Final Four is not. I say the Elite Eight's chalk. It's not chalk. I have Michigan State getting through and Gonzaga, but it's a 3 over a 2. And I don't like that. Although last year it played out that way.
That's the tough part, right? Because I'm with you. I'm pretty chalky once you get to the second weekend. But and it just feels wrong because you want so badly for there to be a Cinderella or like some team that we've never heard of that goes on a crazy run and wins a couple of games. But like we have to remember that's not a super likely outcome. And what's the more likely outcome is that chalk, with the exception of probably a 3 or 4 seed or 2 that makes it to the Sweet 16. But I think we're in this spot in college basketball right now where the top is just so much better that you have to just kind of go with it. That doesn't mean that the lower seeds can't win. I just think that the likelihood of it is that much less than it used to be.
The lower seeds never win. Once you get, every once in a while you'll get a low seed into the Final Four. That's as far as they ever go. I mean, go look at the history of this tournament. Unless you think KU is what was KU when they won it? An 8? UConn had a year where they were a lower seed and they got through. That's it, though. And those are blue blood programs that do that. We love March Madness for Cinderellas. Cinderellas never win this tournament. It doesn't happen. It's too difficult. So we love Cinderella. Cinderellas are great for the first week. That's why the first week's the best week. And then that's pretty, and then they kind of die out usually.
Yep.
I mean, it's a long history of it.
That's the double-edged sword of March, too, is everybody loves those Cinderella runs in the first weekend, but then it's like St. Peter's a few years ago. They make it to the Elite Eight, and the game in the Elite Eight then is just an absolute stinker because they're playing a top tier number 1 seed type opponent, and they get the doors blown off them. And it was a cool story while it lasted, but then some of your most important games don't mean as much, right? Like it's kind of this tough spot where you want a couple of those upsets, but you don't want everything to fall that way, because then all of a sudden you're realizing pretty quickly in the second weekend that these teams actually aren't as good as, some of those other highly seeded teams. And there was a reason they were seeded where they were. It's just sports are random. And sometimes the ball goes in the hoop a little extra for a team that pulls something off. But can I tell you my biggest upset to tease a guest? Actually, you know what? It'll be better to save it because we've got a TJ coming back, right?
Yeah, he's going to hop in the second hour.
So we got to talk about TJ's bracket, because I was watching you guys last night, and when I saw his bracket, I was a little surprised.
A little shocked.
But I have to say, especially because their first opponent is a team I like a lot.
He's talking about Nebraska, and we have a great viewer here who's paying attention. Jason says, am I dreaming, or did I see TJ pick Nebraska to win it all? You're not dreaming, and that is who TJ picked to win it all. I was just looking this up. Nebraska is a 4 seed. The 4 seed has won a championship 2 times ever. So, there's some huge, but like, oh man, that's going to be fun. If we're looking back at all the championships, KU won it when they were again 6 seed back in 1988. It was Villanova who was the 8 seed. That was the first year of the tournament in 1985. Okay, Arizona won it as a 4. The year UConn made their run, remember they had the injuries, they had the late surge, Kemba Walker, all that. They were a 7. Outside of those years, that's it. So we've played 40 now championships, Jackson. 40. More than half of those, the winner is a 1 seed, 6 times out of the 40. A 2 seed 5 times, a 3 seed 4 times, and then you get down to a 4 seed twice. A 5 seed's never won it. 6, 7, 8. So when you're talking about true Cinderellas, which aren't usually within the top 8 seed, they've never won it ever. Like, we Cinderellas are the most fun thing about the tournament, but they don't win this tournament. So Nebraska fits this, Nebraska does. I mean, there's been 4 seeds get in. It's funny that they got where they got, because I had Nebraska when they played K-State. I was like, God, America's going to fall in love with this team in March. This is a team that looks like it's going to win tournament games to me. And then, they actually end up pretty good. And I'm like, well, as a 4 seed now, that's not going to be a surprise to anybody. But you like their first round opponent.
Yes, I do. And so I want to backtrack a little bit, because as you have highlighted the unlikeliness that it is a 4 seed like Nebraska win it all, it's even more unlikely because it's Nebraska. Like, I love Fred Hoiberg. I think he is awesome. He is such a good coach, and to do what he has done already at Nebraska is impressive, because it is just perennially a basketball program that does not win a lot, period. But the big achievement is right in front of them, because again, for our listeners that have no idea about this, you need to know Nebraska is the only power conference team that has never, ever won an NCAA tournament game, ever. So not only do I think it's funny because I think Troy is sneaky good, I think TJ picking Nebraska to win it all when they've literally never won a tournament game before is even that much funnier to me.
It's
that's a leap of faith to the
stretch.
Brilliance degree.
TJ just celebrate. He's a young man still, Jackson. He'll learn that the taking the team for a ride is a fun way to pick a bracket, but it never works out for you. It doesn't. It's fun to take Nebraska for a ride, and then to your point, they lose in the first round, and you're just like, oh man.
Can I do you one more to make this even funnier?
Okay.
In my perusing of my online stats last night, I saw that of the last, I want to say it's the last 13 years, there has been at least one upset of an 11 seed or higher winning in the first 8 games of the NCAA tournament.
Like the broadcast window you're talking about.
Yes, the very first that I think I sent this to you guys, right?
Yeah.
When we were talking about it. 13 years in a row, an 11 over 6 or better has happened in the first 8 games. That first afternoon slate, and Nebraska is the second game.
Oh man, that's it's rough. There are trends there. That's not one that TJ wants to hear. We'll give him his appropriate hard time. There are trends, though. We see the first round upsets. That's where you get the fun. That's why we all love the first round, right? We do see them in that round. But but much further beyond that, kind of the Sweet 16 growing up as a kid, it's like, who's going to be that magical Sweet 16 team? And then it kind of dies after that. It's tough. It is a tough go to get a team through all the way. TJ's saying it's going to be Nebraska. I don't think so. Let's talk about Kansas. Kansas is a team that so this is interesting. Kansas comes into this tournament. They get the 4 seed, just like Nebraska. And we've said all year, Kansas in a puncher's chance in every individual game they play. They get a 4 seed in San Diego. The path likely takes them to St. John's, then to Duke, if they want to make it into the Elite 8. So what do we think of their chances? I like the draw. First of all, we haven't had a chance to talk about their Big 12 tournament. It's hard to go back and revisit. It's always a hard Monday show because so much has happened over the weekend, but we're now to this point, and it's like, well, now I just want to talk about it moving forward, but we do probably need to take a step back with them. The Big 12 tournament, they kind of survived a game on Thursday night, and it was true survival, right? They didn't play very good, but they executed a second half game plan that, to me, it was like, okay, that was really encouraging to see them come out while they're not playing good and know this is how we have to win this game and be able to execute that. And they did against TCU, and they get crushed against Houston. So to me, yes, in a 1-game scenario, they can beat anybody anytime. But there's just no way they've shown us enough consistency to say they're going to, potentially compete for a national championship like we thought maybe they could, I don't know, halfway through the season. I do think in the Big 12 tournament, one big thing to take away is that Darren Peterson is playing now full games, and that's good. And I do think that they've got to have him be pretty special if they're going to do something special, because their offense, I know they beat Arizona and I know they won some big games without him. Their offense is not good enough to do much without him. And that's just the reality of it.
You're absolutely right, but there's also another reality we have to address here. And all the big games that Kansas won were played inside of Allen Fieldhouse. Right. And sure. That is no longer a crutch that KU has. And I don't mean that to fully discredit Kansas, because they have won a few games away from home. I mean, they won at Texas Tech, who's a really good basketball team, and there are a few other examples of that. But the real issue to me is Kansas's inconsistency away from home, because sometimes they'll look really good, and other times they get housed in the second half at West Virginia. And you're going to go in the NCAA tournament as now a top 4 seed in your region, which sounds great, and you're going to have some fans in the building, but it's March, and everybody else that is not a KU fan in that building in San Diego is going to be rooting for Cal Baptist. And I'm not super worried about that game, But when it becomes a more 50-50 like contest in the second round, you're going to be needing to find your own mojo really fast. And Kansas has not been very good at that, not inside of Allen Fieldhouse. I just don't think I trust them enough right now to make a deep run. I still think I'm agreeing with you. Like, they have the capability to do it because they, without question, have the talent. But that talent has not worked together on that scale yet this year. And I can't, in good faith, say that's going to happen when I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, look, it's better than it has been the last 2 years, I would say. Like, the vibe is better than it was the last 2 years, where you just came into it and you're like, we've seen the best of this team and there's nothing else out there for them, and it is not going to be anywhere close to good enough. It's not that at all. It's kind of the opposite, right? Have we seen the best of this team? I mean, maybe in spurts. We certainly saw it in the half against BYU, maybe in the half against Oklahoma State. Like, we've seen it in bits and pieces, but we haven't seen it consistently play out. And the questions will become quickly, okay, well, what does that mean for the tournament? Cal Baptist is an interesting team. They have one of the nation's best scorers, right? But I don't think as a team they take a ton of threes. That's probably a pretty good thing. So you got to stop one guy and you got to score on a defense that is not equipped to handle, I'm certain, without ever seeing them play a dribble of basketball, that they're not equipped to handle Flory Badunga down low. And so can you, or a player like Darren Peterson when he's on. So you just impose your will on them. Then it gets to St. John's if it gets that far, assuming St. John's takes care of business against Northern Iowa. Look, St. John's scares people. I get it. They were really good in the Big East, but they profile a lot like KU to me. Like, they don't take a bunch of threes. They got great bigs. I think KU's got a. If Zuby Ejiofor's, is Zuby Ejiofor their best player? I've only seen them a couple of times. He's certainly one of their better players. But you've got the defense. You got one of the best defensive players in the country you can put on anybody's bigs. So, I feel okay about that. And again, like, KU has struggled a little bit with teams that can shoot the three. That hasn't been St. John's this year. So I'm okay with that matchup. I am. I'm okay with the matchup. In fact, I'm picking them to beat St. John's in the second round. Like, that's not the team that scares me. I think any team 1 through 5, that region is wild. I think any of the 1 through 5 there, Duke, Connecticut, Michigan State, Kansas, St. John's, could go to the Final Four. This is the only region like that for me. But like 1 through 5, and I have Duke going through, which I know is lame, but they've had a really good year. 1 through 5, any of those make it through, we're not going to be like, that is a tremendous upset. I can't believe that team made it through.
Like, Duke is by far the best team, but at the same time, they've had some games where you can see, like, hey, they're not perfect, and
they're led by young players, which is always risky.
And KU competed really well with Duke back in mid-November and didn't have Darren Peterson. Right. So who knows how differently the matchup looks. And that's another thing too, is like, we talked all year about the uncertainty of what this team will look like in March with or without Darren Peterson. We have to acknowledge that if he goes out there and just turns it on another notch, because it feels like, though he's played more over the last couple of weeks, it hasn't felt like he's really been like giving his all. And I had to wonder if he was just trying to like keep some in the tank for one good run that not only helps Kansas, but helps him recover some of that potential lost draft stock. And I think he changes the equation entirely for Kansas. But to go back to your KU St. John's discussion, St. John's is 299 in 3-point rate, according to Bart Torvik. KU is in the 257 slot. So neither team shoots threes all that well. And if you're not shooting a three well, you're gonna have a tough time winning in March. And Kansas is used to that already. So I'm just saying, I like that matchup too.
Of all the, we'll go over this in the second hour. We'll look at the other matchups that potentially were there for Kansas on a 4-5 line, and tell me if you like that any better. We've got 4 days to break down KU, and we will. When we come back, though, let's talk about the American Championship game for the Shockers. That's next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 83-1001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on the Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
On KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. When I played the South Course this weekend, it is starting to look really nice. We're getting the facilities, the fairways are coming up strong. It'll be a beautiful year for golf. Don't look at the weather outside today. It's interesting. Go play the South Course. Crestview has memberships just for the South Course now. They've really expanded their membership menu. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you. Ask about all those. Go take a tour. Check out why we say it's a great place to be. Great place to be with family. Tell them Sports
Not a
Daily
great
sent you.
day for golf today,
No.
but look at the forecast the rest of the week. It is beautiful. Like
I
we're earning it with the last 48 hours, but the rest of this week is going to be a great opportunity to get out there.
It's been, funny story. I was looking yesterday. I was like, I've got it. Anytime there's really good weather, I feel like an obligation. I was like, I got to try to play golf. Like, I got to try to play golf. And so Friday, I'm looking, and like right after the show, there's a couple, and I'm like, man, there's almost never like it's because you can book them like a week out. It's like there's almost never tee time, and so I got one. Like at I don't know, a little before 10. I'm like, wonder why that is. It just dawned on me as I'm reading that why I was able to get that March Madness. Like that's what's going to be going on, which is fine. I'll listen to the games and put on the little speaker, and that if it's clear and free and I'm by myself, which is how I think I'm probably going to play Friday. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do something else. But if I can get it done in less than 2 hours. Like I am a ready golfer. Get up and swing it. Let it go. Let it fly. Get out there. All right. So no Paul Mills today. So we'll talk about the Shockers now, Jackson. They fall yesterday, 70-55 to South Florida. Boy, I got to tell you, the thing, honestly, that I took away from that game, South Florida, who's kind of been in the lead in the American wire to wire here this year, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They came out and they executed exactly what they wanted to do against the Shockers. That was pretty impressive by them, I thought, to hold the Wichita State offense down the way they did. And it was like, to me, again, to my amateur basketball eye, as far as an X's and O's perspective, it was very clear what they were going to do. They absolutely were not going to let Kenyon Giles beat them. That's easier said than done. Every team goes into a game plan against the Shockers and says, oh, we can't let one beat us. We can't let Giles beat us, but nobody can stop him. And they figured out a way to stop him, and they just never really let him touch the ball, right? They were doubling him. It felt like even when he didn't have the damn ball, like they made it miserable for him, and Wichita State couldn't get it go. They missed a lot of easy shots down low. They turned the ball over, obviously, if you watch the game, way too much. That's uncharacteristic for them. Another, I think, credit to South Florida for being a little handsy, probably handsier than most teams would be. But I took away, for me, I was like, man, South Florida just that was an impressive game plan execution performance by the Bulls.
Yeah, and they're such a physical team. That is like good defensive teams can really toe that line of being physical but not too physical. And I know there's always some opportunities where you could be like, that looked like foul to me, but they were so good at just making Wichita State uncomfortable everywhere because they were so physical. They'd get a good look inside, like you mentioned, but they would regularly miss those like short jump shots in the middle of the paint because there was a guy right in front of them, or they felt uncomfortable because of the traffic down there, or you try to get a post-entry pass and it just gets slapped away, whether it got knocked out or fully stolen. But, like, there was no comfortable option offensively for Wichita State last night. And that, to me, was the game in a nutshell. It was just South Florida was just the more physical, strong defensive team. Because if you look at the box score, South Florida did not shoot the ball all that well either. Like, I think they made a couple more threes, but they really didn't. Like, it was like 27% or something like that for Wichita State shot 21% from three, and South Florida shot 27% from three. So 6-4. Like a lot of times the 3-point shot can be your great equalizer. Well, it also can be your great neutralizer. Like for both of those offenses, it just was not there yesterday, but they were able to be stronger with the basketball, turn it over less, and just made a couple more shots on the inside. And all of a sudden it's a 15-point game late because Kenyon Giles is 2 for 11.
It's a pretty hard game to look at the box score too, because the rebounds were the same. And we knew that was going to be a challenge. You know, these are two of the top 5 offensive rebounding teams in the country. So we knew that, and it was dead even, right? Wichita State turned over South Florida quite a bit in the game too, but it was just Wichita State could not capitalize on anything. And, you know, usually when I see refs early on letting it get a little physical, I kind of like that for Wichita State, to be perfectly honest with you, because of the way they rebound. I'm like, all right, they're going to let them bang around Wichita. But this is one of those games where, you know, they needed it. And it's not surprising. I wouldn't even, I mean, it's disappointing that they didn't win a game that could have put them in the NCAA tournament, but I don't watch the outcome feeling like, oh man, they blew it. Right.
Yeah.
I think South Florida's just a little better. And
Yeah.
I think that showed itself throughout the year. I think they did a really nice job. And for me, and I don't know if this is the way all Shocker fans or Shocker observers feel about it, the outcome I don't think busts any sort of momentum that the Shockers built down the stretch. The Shockers got where I wanted to see them get this year, as far as like program vibes and all these things. Did they get to the NCAA tournament? No. Did I want them to? Of course I did. Did they have an opportunity to? Of course they did. And they didn't get it done. So I'm not downplaying the disappointment of losing yesterday, but I think there's a lot of worry, like for the people that really want to see this get back to where it was. I think you see that outcome and you're like, oh no, does that kill all the buzz and the momentum? And I don't think that it does. I think the offseason is more telling than however that outcome was going to go yesterday. What can they do now? Because they have a lot of retainable players, almost everybody. Bless a couple of key parts, of course, Giles Boyd, but they can really return just about everybody. And so I think that's where the pressure goes for me now, is how do you do that? Because the program feels like it's in a good place year 3, Paul Mills, and that was a question going into the year, but they're in a good place right now. So we'll see. I think they'll show up for the NIT. I think they'll be excited to play in the NIT. So I'm glad they get to play more basketball. But I'm pretty satisfied with this season.
Yeah, like I think this was saying the word success feels hard when you miss the NCAA tournament, but sometimes it's not about making the NCAA tournament, right? Like what you said, it's just like about the trajectory and the vibes around this program are worlds better than they were a year ago today. Point blank. We are in a completely different stratosphere with how things feel inside of Koch Arena right now. And I think yesterday is actually going to be a huge benefit to this team moving forward, because obviously this team has some talent. And like you mentioned, they have the ability to keep a lot of it. And I think there's some supporters around Wichita that saw this team play all season and saw them play yesterday and realized they are in a great spot if they can just keep it together. And you're going to get some support that's going to help not only retain these players, but go and get a few difference makers to fill in for a Karan Boyd or a Kenyon Giles that were key pieces this year, and try to not only sustain the success that they had this season, but to elevate it. And I think that Wichita State should be very excited about next year and beyond, because you clearly can build a successful team in Wichita, Kansas. We knew that 10 years ago, but we had to relearn it again because it's been a bit, and it's a completely different era. But we just saw that this team can compete in this day and age of college basketball, and you're going to have people that want that for this program, and they're going to help you get there.
And again, this expectation is different than next year's expectation or the year after that. I don't want to sit here and say not making the NCAA tournament's good enough. That's not the case. Wichita State eventually, and maybe as soon as next year, needs to be in the position where they're thinking about and making the tournament, I don't know, 3 times out of 5, 60% of the time, right? Like at minimum, not, desperately trying to get back there for the first time in almost 10 years, which is where we're creeping up to. So those are the things where we look at this, and I think expectations can be different year to year. For this year, this is a great year. I'll call it a great year. This is a great year for them. Next year, probably not going to be the case. And we got to set that expectation right now, not after we see the offseason, because the biggest part of it is what happens in the offseason. That's how we're going to know where the program sits. If they can retain these players, if they can, bring in a big-time player or two with them, like, we're going to know the program is where it is. If they can't and they start over, then this year didn't do us a whole lot of good anyway. If that, to me,
yeah,
it only works if this tracks into next year. And if it tracks into next year, then the expectation next year, if you told me the Shockers could bring everybody back, that they're capable, that they're able to bring back, if you tell me they bring them all back, they're going to be the favorite to win it next year. I would think, unless Memphis gets back into the crazy recruiting game.
I see the path to what you're talking about. Like, I would not be surprised, but there's, like, just as much as Wichita State has the ability to retain and build their roster, other teams have the ability to do the same exact thing. And
that's exactly right.
That were not that bad. I mean, you could look at some of the teams in the American, like FAU or like Charlotte, that were decent at times and challenged the top of the American, that could certainly flip a switch and build again. I mean, shoot, FAU went to a Final Four not all that long ago. So clearly they can build something down there in Boca. But I don't know that I would expect.
South Florida has 8 seniors on that team.
But sometimes, so here, that's my point. Sometimes you can wipe the slate clean and build it entirely, right? Like, you don't really know. So I don't feel comfortable.
Who in the American can do that?
Just be the favorite.
Who outside of Memphis?
The difference between should and could is all I'm saying here, because you just don't know what other teams are going to haul in the portal.
But I think that's a part of my point. My point is nobody outside of Memphis should haul in more from the portal than Wichita State does. That's the expectation I have for the program, because they're historically a better basketball program, and they don't have football. Memphis is the only one that should be able to recruit right with or better than the Shockers. That's it to me. That's where I think the expectation comes into play. What do we expect them to be able to do with the roster? Yeah, everybody's going to get lucky every once in a while. Wichita State shouldn't be in the lucky business. They should be in the we retain our players and bring in big-time recruits. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got more Sports Daily.
1240 KFH, Wichita, K248CY, Wichita.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
And welcome back in, everybody. Jacob Albrock, Jackson Schneider here with you on the Monday of March Madness, the first Monday. We're getting ready for a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, the best days of the year for a lot of people. I'm right up there. I really enjoy them. We'll have that for you. More talk on March Madness. TJ will jump in. He'll explain his insane bracket to us, his thought process on it later in the hour. Joshua Brisco is going to join us to talk a little Chiefs. Been a minute since we've talked to our Chiefs insider. Really looking forward to that conversation because it has been a fascinating and continues to be fascinating Chiefs offseason. And we will continue to talk all of it. It's all what's on tap. Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the Dub event venue at WBC Delano. Perfect for graduation parties, receptions, rehearsal dinners, meetings, and reunions. Visit WichitaBrew.com to begin your booking at the Dub event venue at WBC Delano, where groups gather. Forgive me, I shouldn't say WWW anymore. WichitaBrew.com. Do you have those announcing drills in college, Jackson, where you'd have to? So when I was in college, WWW was still said in everything that you said. That's been eliminated for good reason. But we always had WWW in our announcing class. But the problem was I grew up in the panhandle of Texas, so we were having those drills to get out of our system. WWW. You had to, it's not WWW. I remember my teacher would basically slap us like an old nun. It's not WWW. It's WWW. Yeah.
Yeah, I have never experienced that. I don't know. I remember the time where you did used to have to say WWW, but ever since it's mattered for me, I don't know that that's been around.
Probably.
I'm not saying you're old. I'm just
Probably.
saying there's the generational divide right between us.
The .com crash happened after college for me, so we were still having those discussions back in those days. The Facebook was invented while I was in college. The iPhone was invented while I was in college. When I was in college, we were very much still typing www on our websites. So there you go for that little inside baseball. Finish the thought real quick on the Shockers there. We ran out of time. I'm not saying that teams in the American aren't going to be able to catch lightning in a bottle. What I'm saying is Wichita State should not be one of the teams trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Wichita State, like Memphis, needs to be at the top of this league in recruiting almost every year and in expectations almost every year. Wichita State should not be one of the teams trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Wichita State as a program needs to be in the place. And I know this is hard right now in college basketball. So it's hard to adjust our expectations to where things are because everybody seems to go into the portal and all of that. I get it. But when Wichita State gets back, we're going to look at this class that's potentially coming back and we're going to say, man, I'm fired up for the Shockers next year. And we'll say that because we will just expect that they'll have the ability to retain. Now, is that going to be 100% true this year? I don't know, because they've got a couple of bigs they could potentially bring back. They're going to be attractive to Power Fives, and Power Fives kind of get desperate, and they may. You never know. But with guys like TJ Williams and Dylan Batee, those are guys you got to be able to retain. And then maybe when they're seniors, they can do that. We'll see how this plays out. This is going to be a big time off season for Wichita State basketball. If they've got to start it over again, man, I don't know how you're ever getting excited about it. I don't. And I just don't think that should be. I think Wichita State should have a clear advantage over their peers in this league in that way.
I think your point about catching lightning in a bottle is right. So would it be wrong to say Wichita State should not be as a team trying to catch lightning in a bottle?
Correct.
But they're like a lightning in a bottle kind of player away, try to get it collectively. Right now, Wichita State is just another Kenyon Giles away from being another big time contender in the American.
They may not even be that.
Come around every year.
No, my point is, if you retain, let's say they retain Gray, Batee, Williams, Berg, and if they can get a core of 4, we're not even talking about that's an if now, but a win if he gets another year of eligibility. You tell me I'm starting a roster with those 5 guys versus whatever else the American's going to have to deal with in turnover and attrition? I'm taking my chances with that. We should walk into every season for Wichita State basketball and never be predicting them lower than 3rd in the league. That's what I'm saying. Basically, what you have with Memphis, which is they've been at now. Memphis is, of course, been able to recruit 5 stars and do all those things over the years. But the sustainability that is difficult to achieve right now in college basketball, to me, when Wichita State is right, they have such a clear advantage over the rest of this league now if things are right in that regard. They do. Like South Florida's had a great year. South Florida has to worry about a football team. In fact, everybody does outside of Wichita State. Wichita State has to find the resources to take care of 5 or 6 guys. So we'll see. And the success is coming. It's brewing. I think it's there, and I think they're going to. I think they're going to have a lot of success this offseason. I hope.
I do too.
Let's see if they can parlay it into some NIT wins. Heck yeah, let's go on an NIT run. It's tournament basketball. I don't really care what it is. Just give me more basketball. All right. So we've talked a little KU. We'll get more into KU a little bit. One other quick storyline we've got to get in because we're talking Chiefs next and then back to brackets to finish up the hour. World Baseball Classic. America gets to win over Dominican Republic. Look, I'm way invested in this. I'm also maybe on the outside. I don't think so by seeing crowds and seeing the chatter. Are you in on World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, I'm very much all in on this. This is something like it to me. I was also all in on the Four Nations Classic in hockey. It's just a unique way to make it a global thing. And baseball is already a global sport to like where I guess let me back up a little. Like it is a global sport, but like we're at a point now where Americans are playing on different countries' rosters because of odd loopholes and things. But the point remains the same, that the fan interest from around the world, and especially here in the United States, is at an all-time high for something like this. Because the World Baseball Classic has been around before, but it's never been like this. I think baseball has a unique opportunity to build off of this and recapture some of the nation's audience that has gone away over the last few years. Baseball has had a problem with being front of mind all the time because it's such a long season, but to make something so entertaining and so dramatic feel like it matters so much in a short time frame in March. This is an opportunity for baseball to explode, and games like last night help make it be that way. That said, the ending was not the best.
Why couldn't they put ABS? And I'm glad, look, I'm rooting hard for Team USA. My blood bleeds red, white, and blue. Don't misunderstand. I'm glad we got the home cooking, if you want to call it home cooking on that call. I'm glad we got the call. Those umps were bad all night, but why can't we just have ABS? We're about to roll it out in the big leagues.
It's there. It's in that stadium. It's
that would have been an easy one. And I think Miller ultimately gets the job done anyway. That's why it's okay. Like it wasn't so egregious. A lot will be made of it. It was close. And I would have been curious to see the ABS to see where that ball actually crossed the zone, because it was closer than where it finished.
There were like, you still have like the data, like on the pitch tracks and all that stuff. It was low, but
it was consistent because that pitch was
like
getting called.
There were also other calls like that in the game that were just as bad. It's fine. Like that's what baseball has been for 200 years almost. So it's really not a big deal.
And
that's
if you've ever played baseball,
capturing of a new audience comes in, where the new audience doesn't understand that that's how baseball has been since it's existed.
If you ever played a second of baseball in your life, what's your coach telling you to do with that pitch on 2 strike counts?
You got to swing anyway.
You can't take that pitch.
Absolutely.
So it's fine. But I do think, though, it brings up, again, I don't want to make a big deal out of that pitch. It was just where it's topical. It's what people are talking about today. I do think, though, it does bring up a good point. That's what, for people that don't want ABS, that's the spot where you want ABS, right? That's the spot where we're all going to look back. It'll be one of those things, and probably as soon as like 3 years, we look back and be like, man, why didn't we have that the whole time? Like that was, and it's too easy. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's so fast, and you have to be selective. You can't challenge everything. They put some parameters on it.
It's dramatic.
For 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th and save you if you're in the World Baseball Classic.
Could you imagine you're sitting there in the stands and you know that call's coming and you're just like, come on, the place is going to go ballistic. It's going to be fun. I'm glad we're going to get to see it. And I bet you it's limited now. There'll be a point pretty soon where it's just kind of unlimited because it'll go so fast. All right, we're going to come back. Joshua Brisco, Chiefs Radio Network's going to hop in. Let's talk that Chiefs offseason when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Jackson Schneider here, getting connected with Joshua Brisco, having a bit of a technical glitch there. Jackson, what's been your take while we get this connection made? What's been your take on the Chiefs offseason? You happy with it? You satisfied?
I'm satisfied for now. Obviously, a lot of that boils down to what gets done in the draft, but the work that they have done to create some space to make some moves and get a little creative has made things a lot more fun for me, because I was convinced 3 weeks ago that their hands were just tied and that they weren't going to be able to do a lot to retool this roster that so badly needed some new faces and to move on from the same old, same old. I was worried they weren't going to be able to do that, but they found ways with the Trent McDuffie trade and some other moves that they've made to add in Kenneth Walker and create some opportunity to you're not fully restarting, obviously, but you can at least get some flexibility with where you're at and what you're building to. If you can win 9 games this year, you're going to start to feel really good about being right back to where you want to be the year following. And that's not to say that they can't this year anyway, because they weren't that far off. But just, it's so crazy to me that one big trade can change everything. And again, I was convinced they weren't going to be able to get anything done.
I don't know about anything. It's really, to me, are we happy that they did what they did ahead of the draft? We do have Joshua Brisco now. We're going to bring in here. Josh, we're just talking about the Chiefs offseason, just kind of setting it up. Jackson's in for TJ today. Glad to have you back. Welcome back. Wichita Wranglers? Is that a Wichita Wranglers hat?
You're darn right it is. Good to be back with you guys.
Yeah, that's good.
In fact, there was a big sale on a hat site right before Christmas, so I got a whole Wranglers sweep for me, my dad, and my brother. So I think this is the first time it's made it to a stream. I've had it hanging, thinking next time I'm on in Wichita, the Wranglers hat has to lead the way. So
now you're going to have to you're going to have to get a Wichita Honkers hat now, though. That's the alter ego this for a week or so.
Here's what I need. You guys have boots on the ground. You find it, you let me know. I got a big head. I need snapbacks that can go to the last 2 snaps reliably, or a fitted that would fit on a watermelon. But if you find those, you keep me in the loop, and I'd love to rep them.
They're coming. They sold out immediately, as you can imagine, as it should be.
Yes.
That we'll find one for you. It has been an off season so far. Yeah, we have had a lot happening for Kansas City. Bird's eye view, we're a month-ish away from the draft. Are you good with where things stand? Do you think that's been a good job so far?
Obviously, it's been an incomplete offseason, right? Because the draft is still around the corner. And like right now, the secondary is definitely worse than it was before this offseason started, because you haven't had a chance to cash in any of those chips that you got for Trent McDuffie. So, I mean, if they had to start playing the season tomorrow, they'd be in a worse spot than they were, being a 6-win team last year. That's scary. That's alarming for everybody. And I understand very much why. What I think is interesting about the free agency moves they made is that a lot of this money went to, these are phrases we've all become very familiar with over the last several years, they went into non-premium positions. They spent money, legitimate money, on Kairos Tonga, a 2-down nose tackle run stuffer. He's got a little bit of juice as a pass rusher. I don't want to minimize that. But he's there to play next to Chris Jones and make his life and George Karlaftis' life a little bit easier. Obviously, running back in Kenneth Walker, that's the big splash. Then they double down with Amari DiMarcado to give you a full vision of what first and second and third down could look like with totally new faces next year. Running back isn't a premium position anymore, but it is a spot where the Chiefs were really weak. They restructured Drew Tranquill. They are able to bring back Travis Kelce and Alohi Gilman, not a premium position, but a guy that is going to kind of stop the bleeding in the secondary. If that was all they were doing, I'd be alarmed. I think the strategy, and Brett Veach mentioned this briefly at the Combine this year, is that you need to draft players at premium positions. So your number one edge rusher acquisition this year is going to be in the draft. Your number one defensive backfield acquisition is going to be in the draft. Your number one wide receiver acquisition is going to come through the draft. So obviously, those picks are always important. Never more so for this iteration of the Chiefs. You've got 3 picks in the top 40. You've got 4 in the top 75. If you can turn those picks into some premium assets at edge rusher, wide receiver, and then somewhere in the defensive backfield, then your roster is going to feel a lot more whole. I think what they've done through free agency is try to set the floor a little bit. Say, hey, we can't have a disaster on the defensive line in the running back room this year. It has to be at least this good, and then the ceiling will be pushed up in the draft.
So with that, then, where's your head at for now 2 first-round picks? Because that obviously changes the way you look at that first round. When you a week or two ago, we're thinking, do they trade back or where do they go with 9? Now you have the option to go get somebody there in that first 10 picks and then wait to see what's there at the end of round 1 as well. So what does that do for the Chiefs' mindset on day 1?
It's going to hopefully give you more options. To your point, like you have to get away with a blue chip player, and I don't think you're necessarily going to get that guy at 29. I mean, he might develop into, way over being way higher value than his draft position, but just in terms of the reputation these guys are going to have coming in, I think I made Jacob's head explode the last time we talked as the season was wrapping up. I'm still completely ready for Carnell Tate to be the name at 9 if that's how it goes. I know Mekhi Lemon had some kind of weird stuff around the Combine, but I'll tell you what, his tape is weird in a good way. I would be very happy to see either of those guys as somebody who can be kind of the next iteration of a volume pass catcher. But also, this team really needs pass rush help. We talked about it all season last year. We talked about it the season before. Ultimately, if it's Ruben Bain at 9 or Carnell Tate or Mekhi Lemon, and frankly, what I've kind of settled is if any of those 3 guys are there at 9, I'm relatively happy because there is kind of like, I don't want to say a disaster potential for the top 8 picks, but there's definitely a way those top 8 picks could go that could leave you kind of going, okay, well, maybe it is Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, great players at positions that, again, not necessarily the premium spots you can patch up in free agency. So where I stand now is that with Ruben Bain's super short arms and maybe that knocking his draft status a little bit, if he's the pick at 9, then you almost have to take one of those second-tier wide receivers at 29, and I think vice versa is probably true. If it is Tate or Lemon at 9, there's a pretty good next tier of defensive ends. And again, if Bain is there, and all of this is a whole bunch of we're reading Ouija boards at this point as much as mock drafts. But if Ruben Bain is there at 9, we'll find out pretty quick. If it's Bain and Tate both available somehow, we'll find out pretty quick what the gap the Chiefs think there is between Ruben Bain and Zion Young, who will probably be there at 29.
I will retract my head explosion now that we've seen a couple of things. Rashee Rice, I'm concerned I'm twofold concerned with Rice. One, I'm concerned at looking at what free agents are getting on the open market at wide receiver, and 2, obviously the issues he continues. Whether obviously these things have to play themselves out, but they're always there with him. So I'd be okay with Tate at 9. I'm not sure I'd be okay with Lemon or Tyson as much, and I like Tyson. At 9, though, I'm not sure. Here's what we know it's not going to be Jeremiah Love now.
Yep.
I think that makes the Walker move pretty good, is because the temptation won't be there.
Yes, I agree.
But if it gets down to some of the players you're talking about and the best players and offensive linemen, that's where I've kind of come around to be like, you know what? Okay, Mahomes is getting older. If you're going to use it, I don't think they need it, but if that's the best player, here's what I think pass rush is the need.
I agree.
I've got 2 first-round picks. I think there are two players in this draft, not three, but two, who look like they're going to be elite level pass rushers, Bailey and Reese. I'm using the pick. Why not use the picks and see if you can't move up to get one of those guys? Or here's your ultimate wild card. Use one of the first to go see if you can pry away Max Crosby. If you can get him paid.
They have to have called, right?
Don't you think? They still have a Chris Jones restructure. 29 for Max Crosby, 29 in a second, 29 in that second you picked up. Who says no to that?
You sound like my dear friend Seth Kaiser, who does excellent work and also just hates having draft picks in his hands. He would much rather get those and turn them into a player in a known quantity now, which I very much understand, especially when you do have multiple assets. I wouldn't give up 9 for Max Crosby right now.
No,
that might be short-sighted. The guy you drafted 9 probably won't be as good as Max Crosby. But you have to reset your age cycle here, and you've got to get the value on the rookie contract. But yeah, if we get close to the draft and the Raiders are like, man, we postured pretty hard, but he's still here, and we still haven't gotten a real offer. Will Mark Davis and Tom Brady send him to Kansas City for 29? I don't know. I do think that a significant amount of the draft capital has to go into the defensive line. I'm fascinated to figure out where Reese ends up falling. For a long time pre-combine, it felt like he was the automatic pick at 2, but do you have a little bit of kind of like a tweener thing of just figuring out how do you make an impact at the next level? But also, the last guy I remember having, certainly wasn't the last guy, I should say, but one of the guys I remember having that conversation about was Micah Parsons, and it worked out okay for him. So I do think there's a matter, and this is what we won't know from the Chiefs' eyes, at least until after the draft. I'm really curious to figure out where do they have Reese and Bailey, Bain, and all the other guys, and what are the chunks together there? Because I think David Bailey could end up having an excellent pro career. He doesn't look like a defensive end that the Chiefs have invested in with Steve Spagnuolo. That doesn't mean he's not a guy that you can't identify other kind of lankier, thinner-legged edge rushers that have success in the league. That's just not who the Chiefs have ever targeted. So I think this is also maybe a little bit counterintuitive because the Chiefs do care, and then Spags does care about arm length as like a kind of a floor setter. But Ruben Bain can hold his own on the edge, and I think that ends up being the bigger argument, that his arm length, he doesn't play like a guy with 30-inch arms. If you watched his tape exclusively, I don't think you'd say, man, how's he doing it with those T-Rex arms? I could see them loving him. I could also see them going, hey, we like you a lot, and we'd love you at 29. And if you end up being in that next tier, but again, I think if that's the case, you just take your receiver at 9, and then you take your best available at 29 on the defensive line. Maybe they love one of the interior D linemen too. I wouldn't hate that either. But I still remain pretty firm that I think if those first 2 picks go D-line in any format, and I don't know, playmaker, if you will, obviously running backs out of the picture, I'll be pretty happy. I don't think like Kenyon Sadiq at 9 is terribly likely, but if they fell in love with them and like, no, we have our Travis Kelce succession plan now, I'd be more excited about that than I would be another offensive lineman, just because I don't think that's, especially at 9, I don't think there is an offensive lineman who would be the best player available at 9 in this year's draft class. The combination of need, and if there was a Penei Sewell, I'd be with you. I'm like, hey, you get the 9 and Penei Sewell's there, you draft him and figure it out. I don't think this draft class has that guy, but there's been a lot of smoke around the Chiefs and adding a tackle, which is, I don't know, not where I want to see those resources spent. But again, there's been a lot of talk about that over the last couple of weeks.
You touched on the tight end room, and that is still kind of a work in progress for the future. Yep. But as of right now, you have at least your starter figured out, because a month ago we were playing Will He, Won't He with Travis Kelce, and you end up figuring it out for what, $15 million or something in that range. How does that help the Chiefs now, and how does it afford them some flexibility for the future? Because he can't play forever as much as we want him to. Like, what's next in the tight end room for the Chiefs after this?
I'll go kind of chronologically there. One that is just interesting, you guys might have already talked about it today, but I think Albert Breer ended up getting the contract details yesterday, and the Chiefs don't do void years, which is how the Eagles sort of stack their books. But what they did with Kelce's deal, they hit a couple of loopholes to spread that cap hit out in a way that it seemed like they weren't going to do. So by doing that, they might not need to restructure Chris Jones, which I think is good, just considering this is the hardest year of the Jones cap hit to absorb. If you can make it through this, then you can continue to do what you want with Chris Jones over the next couple of years. There are other ways they could create money that would be perfectly fine with me if they need more cap space. But that was interesting about just like the structure of the deal. In terms of what it does for the Chiefs this year, like it or not, he's their number one option on offense. And again, that doesn't mean that that's great. It doesn't mean that you wanted that to be true last year. But even when Rashee Rice came back, Travis Kelce was the guy who had Patrick Mahomes' trust, and Rashee Rice was not able to be the guy that took the baton in 2025. And now, again, as we referred to earlier, you can try to do that again now, but this is a contract year for Rashee Rice. Like, last year was the year to get ahead of it for him. So all that to say, I think it is a flatly good thing to have Travis Kelce back in this offense for another year. I think it makes a ton of sense that he didn't want to go out missing the playoffs. There's no guarantee you get to retire with a Lombardi in your hand, but it's hard to imagine it ending in kind of a sadder way than catching passes from backups while your best friend's got an ACL surgery happening and you're just trying to get to the end of a lost season. I do think it's a good thing for the offense. The offense also needs to continue to evolve. There was one report, again, a week or two ago, I think it was James Palmer talking to guys in the building or whatever, and that some people with the Chiefs thought that they underutilized Travis Kelce last year. And I went, whoa, that's crazy. I hope that's not the strategy, because he's played a ton of snaps for this team, and that can mean like in the red zone and in certain situations you just look to the guy that knows everything. So I'll give whoever said that to Palmer a little bit of leeway, but I think it's good for the offense right now. You also don't want to make Travis Kelce be the entire offense. I think Kenneth Walker helps with that. I think whichever receiver they end up drafting has to help with that. I think Xavier Worthy is fine. I'm probably holding more Xavier Worthy stock than most people, because I do think there's more to be released there in terms of having a new receivers coach and some different usage. Tyquan Thornton being back all helps. But ultimately, it's massive. It's Travis Kelce being the number one option in this offense, and being Mahomes' biggest certainty. And then, Jackson, to the future of the room, Noah Gray's still on the roster. That was like a question a little bit, at least, that they could have freed up some cap space there. I thought that might have been an interesting way to kind of read if the offense was going to evolve very much, because the league has grown to value the active blocking tight end a little more, again, cyclically here in these last few years, and the Chiefs don't really have one of those. Robert Tonyan was that guy last year. He did not play very much. Noah Gray's not that guy. Travis Kelce's not that guy. Both pass-catching first players, and Gray had kind of a middle-of-the-road year last year. So I have a hard time thinking that they're in love with Jared Wiley. We talked about Jake Brenningstool during training camp. I think there's going to be another name added to that tight end room. Maybe that's something where they sniff around then a little bit and we get like a small free agency signing, the Robert Tonyan type of guy. But I wouldn't be surprised one bit if one of those draft picks goes into a tight end, and maybe one in day two. I'd be a little surprised if it's Sadiq in day one, but day two I could see it.
Find him on the KC Sports Network. Find him on the Chiefs Radio Network. We got to do this again before the draft, and I'm gonna tease this one. So be thinking about this. I'm gonna make you pick over or under Kenneth Walker carries. Now the fourth highest paid running back in football at 16. Over under. I'm gonna leave you with that number. Think about that. We'll do this again in the next month before the draft. Josh, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Let me know if you find more Wranglers hats, everybody. You can just
we'll get you Hunkers. We're going to get you a Hunkers hat.
Wait a second. Yeah. Hold on. Dump that.
Yep, that's correct. The Wichita Hunkers. All right. Thanks, Josh. We got to get to a break. We're coming right back. TJ's going to hop in. He'll talk about his insane bracket.
This is Sports Radio KFH.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features. All upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH. Jacob Albrock, Jackson Schneider. Joining us now on the KFH hotline is TJ Cleland. TJ, you've got some explaining to do. You're getting a hard time here. Getting a hard time. Nebraska ball. All in Nebraska.
I'm on the show this morning and talk about Casey Alexander, right? That's the only reason why.
No, you haven't had a chance to talk to him. You can talk about Casey Alexander tomorrow. You've got it. You've put it out there into the universe. You're paid professional. You get paid to do this for a living, and you're going to pick the team that's never won a tournament game to win it all. Explain yourself a little bit.
Whenever it's April and everybody's going to be talking about what a crazy movie script it's going to be that Nebraska won a national championship, they're going to look back and say, who's the idiot that picked him in March? TJ Cleveland's the idiot that picked him in March. I picked the Huskers. Jacob, I explained myself on Sports Sunday last night is that I think that it's more so just the bed that I've made myself throughout the rest of my bracket because it's just carnage. Like I'm always so upset hungry. It kills me. And last year I got destroyed by it. But honestly, as I look back at it, like I really gave Nebraska like a hard pass. Like they are pulling off the big ones. Like I like them more than Florida, I think. Like, and that'd be a crazy game. I think that them over Houston gives me the most heartburn and what would be the Elite Eight at that point. I don't know if they can do that, but I'm just banking on the fact that like their offense is one of the most efficient offenses in the country. Like they shoot so many threes, and I think that they can get hot for 60. I mean, they were undefeated for like 3 months.
Their offensive efficiency is not that great. Their defensive efficiency is pretty darn good. I think it's Bart Torvik. It's top 10 on defense, but they're top 65. I just pulled it up in offense. So you want to? It's still not too late to change. If that changes,
no, it's too late now. We're too late.
Games haven't started. I'll give him a pass if he wants to reconsider.
It's on the record. It's on television, on social media, and now on the radio mediums. It is too late to change the Elite Eight and beyond. I think that I've talked to Jacob about this. Jackson, I'm sure that you're aware of the trapezoid of excellence, that you have to be in the trapezoid to win an national championship. They are just outside it. Like their offensive efficiency is just a couple of ticks too low to be considered in the trapezoid. But again, I think that they can get as hot as anybody in the country. 3-point shooting is the name of the game. And it honestly got to the point where like I put them in there, and the East region I made absolute carnage as well. Like I pulled KU out of there, which I feel the worst about of my entire Final Four. And then it's just like, well, can KU beat Nebraska if Nebraska makes 15 threes? I don't think they can. And then I picked them there, and then it got to Arizona in the championship game, and then Arizona doesn't shoot a three-pointer at all. So it's like maybe they're just going to shoot their way to a title, and I just ended up there. That's how we're there. And at the end of the day, like, how often is it 4 1 seeds? Who knows? I heard you bringing up the stats earlier in the show. 4 seeds have done it before. Make a lot of threes, you can get there.
Yeah, I mean, once or twice. Before Nebraska was even ranked, I think I was like, this is a team that could win tournament games. Just watching them play, I don't know that I thought they were going to win 6 of them, but 1 or 2. They're a 4 seed.
I think my biggest thing, and obviously they flipped up late. Like they got blown out by Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. But like, look at their losses this year. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly. I know they lost to a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 2 seed again, and then Iowa was an upset, and they're a 9 seed. I think is where
and they got to play. And they got to play a lot of those kind of teams if they're going to win a national championship.
Exactly, but they also beat Illinois in Champaign. Like they've got the wins as well. Like they feel like they were a bit, and I understand why they're a 4 seed. They flipped late in the year. Like they should have been like a 3, probably if they would have not just lost to Purdue or to Iowa there, and they'd probably be a 3 line, and then it'd feel a lot less crazy. But I think that like there's something there. They just got to figure out how to get back to it. And I think they have a game that's built for it.
They got 20 balled by UCLA 2 weeks ago. Don't forget about that.
That's the one I forgot.
But
you also have South Florida and BYU in your Elite Eight. Just
do what?
I said South Florida and BYU also live in your Elite Eight.
That's right. Yeah, people are making the biggest deal in Nebraska. If you zoom out the bracket, it gets even crazier. South Florida versus KU in the East region and the Elite Eight is going to be one of the most crazy games of the thing. I mean, if you zoom out even farther, I mean, I've got like High Point in the Sweet 16 right now as it stands. Like, I've got not a lot of chalk on the bracket.
You could make a lot of money. We'll see.
You could.
I got on last night. You can parlay your bracket. I picked my Elite Eight straight, 8 for 8. If I go 8 for 8, I think I bet like $1 to to win 175 grand. So whenever everybody's calling me an idiot, I'll be laughing my way to the bank. All right.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. I might parlay my Elite Eight. That's a good call. I haven't even started to bet this thing out yet.
I've
TJ,
bet a couple.
KU, real quick. You've got KU going. We've talked. I mean, I don't know how many times we've talked about their ceiling. I don't think any differently about their ceiling. I probably just think I think it's a little less likely that they reach it more than maybe one or two times. Based on what we saw late in the year, they're not hitting it as often as you'd like to see them hit it for a tournament like this.
The thing to me is that if everybody wants to dunk on me and call me an idiot for picking Nebraska, I don't cover Nebraska. I cover KU, and I still found a way to pick KU to the Final Four, so you can call me an idiot about that. Like, there's some Kool-Aid drinking going on and some KU-colored glasses type of thing. To justify it, I think is, the best way to put it. You guys talked about this. Cal Baptist, they should be fine. St. John's is a good 5 matchup for KU. Like, that's one of the best 5 matchups that you could have gotten based on the way that they play. I understand they're hot as firecrackers right now, but by the way that they play basketball, it's not Arkansas, basically. Like, it's not a team that's going to explode on offense against you. Like, they don't shoot a ton of threes either. They play a lot like KU. KU can almost out-athlete them in that game, I think, and they can get past that one. Then it gets to Duke, and the reason I have them to my Final Four is the fact that, like, I'm still clinging on to the fact, like, the one thread holding up the backpack is that they beat Arizona and they beat Houston. And I know it's an Allen Fieldhouse, but there's something there. And all it's going to take is one game where Peterson scores 30 and they just play the offense the way that they can play the offense, and they can beat Duke. And everybody's going to say, oh, they're going to win the national championship. And then I think they get Nebraska or whoever they're going to get in the Elite Eight or whatever that would be. And then they may slip up and look like they did against Houston in the Big 12 tournament. But I think that KU has one in the tank that we'll see if they get far enough to let us see it.
Now, TJ, we have to ask you about Casey Alexander because you're heading to Manhattan right now. How does he win the press conference? Because the last head coach for K-State, without question, won his press conference.
Yeah.
And that fizzled out. So what do you need to hear from the new man in Manhattan to feel good?
I don't know. I think what I want to hear as a basketball guy is that I want to hear, and based on all accounts, I think it will be, I think he's going to get up there and he's going to talk a lot about the analytics of the game and really, like, Paul Mills you to death with talking about points per possession and the analytics and efficient threes versus good twos and things of that nature. I think that's what K-State fans are really clamoring for, because coming from the guy that you just ran out of town that talked a lot about, we got more dudes than you. And to be fair, it worked for that year that they had the dudes. Having somebody that's going to tell you that, like, I'm going to be a ball coach and we're going to go out and do this thing, like, that is the 100% way that you can win the press conference.
Yeah, I could see it. But I don't care about winning the press conference. I care about winning the games.
We can't talk about winning the games for another 8-9 months, though. So you have to focus on winning now because, like, that's all you got, right? You got to
you do have to win now. I just mean, like, whatever he says today is fine because it's today. I get it. That's why we're there. The reality, though, is it's the Big 12 now. And I love the resume that he's won a ton of games. But if he didn't go get some dudes, he ain't winning any games in this conference.
It's true. So the biggest question surrounding it, Jacob, that we've talked about is that, obviously people are going to say, like, he's been to the tournament one time and he's 0 for 1 in the NCAA tournament. And the top 25 wins aren't even there at Belmont. Like, they never pulled off the upset. And again, you can push back. And there's a reason why no top 25 teams are scheduling Belmont. They're in the weird middle ground that nobody wants to play them. They'd rather play Mississippi Valley. And so there's that reason, obviously it's harder to make the tournament at mid-majors. 20 wins is not insignificant, but also those stats aren't empty stats. Like, making the tournament is a big deal, and it's how you judge mid-major success usually, by just making the tournament. You don't look at your wins. You judge it by making the tournament, winning your conference tournament, things of that nature. But, that's the biggest question. How does it work in the Big 12? And I think that's a question that'll be answered by him today, is that how does he see what he does translating to the biggest stage in college basketball? Like, the analytics and everything are awesome, and they work in the Valley and the Ohio Valley. I don't even know when they joined the Missouri Valley, honestly, but it works there. Like, does he think it could work at the Big 12? It feels like Gene Taylor thinks that it can because that's the reason they hired him.
I don't think that's too crazy. I think we all pay attention to analytics. We just talked about how you've got Nebraska winning the national championship because of their offensive efficiencies and the trapezoid of excellence, right? So I wouldn't rule it out. I think this to me, like Jacob said, like there's really not a lot he can say that's going to change much of how I feel here because it'll be what it is, right? But it has to come in the portal and it has to come quickly. But is there a way a guy like this can win on the press conference that affects the portal? Or is this just him trying to rile up some fan support that's been dead and dormant for almost a year now?
That's the biggest thing, and that's the thing actually that you know to backtrack on what Jacob said earlier is that winning the press conference doesn't matter outside of the fact that it's a press conference and you just want something to talk about K-State basketball in March right now. But in the new age of college basketball, you just pissed off the town of Manhattan by losing too many games, and basically people saying like you need to do something or we're pulling our support. Like, get the support back. Like that, it's kind of important to do now. You need the financials. You need the people backing you to be able to do that kind of thing. So I guess it is, hand in hand now in 2026.
You got I mean, if he doesn't, it could spiral. Like they better hope he can get some players. I mean, I have no doubt he's a great coach.
Next year, I know.
Big
next
12.
year, we brought this up last week, and I know that Jackson is going to love this. Is that that next year is about to be mid-major U in Manhattan. Like, he's going to bring guys from Belmont. He's going to go get the best players that he played against in the Valley, bring them up here, and it's going to be mid-major U is the best way to put it. And if it works, then you're going to be able to grow it into a spot where you're going and get your portal guys wherever you want. But next year, it's about to be like we're fielding the team of the guys that I know can play some ball.
And you got to hope you're the best team in the league, right? Yeah, I guess.
I think that's a fun strategy, but man, K-State tried that with some MAC guys this year. It didn't really pay off, so we'll see.
One year of that will be all. TJ, drive safe. We'll look for your reports tonight on 12 News. We're going to come back. We got a little more Sports Daily. Don't go away.
$800-346-2476. 800-346